Hi there, this is Jamie the D, aka the Mad Welshman, and this is Formula Fusion, an early access game by R8 Games, which is made up of a load of ex-Wipeout developers, among others. It is a future racing game. It was successfully kickstarted back in 2015, I believe. Obviously, there'll be some text to let you know if I was wrong on that, fact-checking and all that. And this is, as you might expect, a future racing game, where the emphasis, at the moment at least, is on the racing as opposed to the combat, and I kind of like that. I'm not so fond of the slightly long loading screens. Most of these will be cut, but this one has been left in to give you some idea of the meaty requirements of the Unreal Engine and the loading times at the present time. And here we are with the F4000 craft, one of two in the game, and a series of cock-ups that demonstrate that, yes, even Wipeout, even people familiar with Wipeout, will have problems. Mainly because the handling is somewhat different, in a good and interesting way, and yet, well, as you get used to things, you make some interesting mistakes. Nonetheless, the game, as you can see, is using the Unreal Engine quite a fair bit, and is very pretty. Unfortunately, well, I made a few mistakes. But, mistakes aside, once you get into it, each of the three tracks is quite interesting. So without further ado, let's get on with those tracks. Starting, obviously, with New York, which used to have a day and a night. I'm not certain if it still does, but the interesting thing about this track is that you do not actually require air brakes for most of it. And as you can see, I'm still having a few handling and teething problems. But that wasn't an air brake turn. That's actually an interesting feature of the keyboard turning, that the longer you hold down the turn, the harder the turn becomes. And that's quite cool, actually. It allows keyboard players like me to compete, while gamepad players obviously can use their normal turning. Fuck, I am not commentating very well today, but it also means that you can tell a keyboard player by more than just the stutter step, as you do have to turn a little bit earlier. Like I said, none of these turns actually require air brakes. I haven't actually used air brakes once since I started. You would tell by the very sudden drop in the engine noise, and there we go. And this one, at least, even though it doesn't look it at first, is a good introductory track. This is actually a fairly gentle curve, whereas a Wipeout 3 player would go, oh my god, that's not a gentle curve at all, that's an air brake turn. But no, in fact, yes, one of the rare examples of the AI using a weapon. I got hit by a rocket, went flying off the track, and yeah. Nonetheless, this isn't bad for a 4th or 5th attempt. And the weapons do exist. They come in 2 flavors, rocket or machine gun. There are the shield power-ups. We should be seeing at some point in the video what happens when you run out of shield. But for now, we are actually very close to the end of the NY track. Dearie me, I really do need to keep up with my practice in this game, because even when I get first, I have by no means the best time. In fact, some of the best times have been quite scary as development has progressed. Yeah, there we go, that's actually a pretty sloppy time. Nonetheless, it's nice to see so many Jamies. And even a Geraldine and a Jess. Good on you, AI players. Now, the second track you may think is a little easier. As you can see, it's very gentle curves, with the odd tunnel and very long straights, as shown here. However, this track actually requires more skill than New York because of all of these boost pads. So the trick is not just racing cleanly, but racing cleanly and hitting as many of these boost pads as you can. As such, I'm not going to do nearly as well in this race as I do in New York, and indeed will do in the third track, Atlas Torres. More on Atlas Torres when that turns up, but in the meantime, yes, there is first-person mode. At the moment, it's a little, you know, just normal. The UI is mostly readable. Lap in the top left, position in the top right, weapons there on the right, and shield and speed. You'll notice that the shield does in fact slowly regenerate, and can also be healed with the use of power-ups. Also, shameful display by me there. But the rubber banding in this game is not so bad, so it is actually, it's definitely possible to catch up from a really bad first lap. And in fact, we'll see me verging on first a couple of times, and then brutally missing quite a few boost pads. Even these can be missed if you're not careful. Also, you can see that the racers have no problem with giving each other little bumps, and that the frame rate is a little sickly at times at the present time on my setup. I'm sure this has absolutely nothing to do with the 50-odd tabs in Chrome I had when recording this. Nonetheless, the music is pretty relaxing for the most part, and in the background, very much an improvement on the earlier renditions of the tracks, which were a little bit intrusive. So we've got our wubs, we've got our very clean racetracks, and of course we have our hovercraft. This, yeah, I'm quietly confident that Formula Fusion, once it gets out of early access, will be pretty cool. Obviously, at the moment there are only a couple of craft types, and once you're set to a craft type, well, that's the craft type. There are no teams as such. There are colours which fulfill that purpose, and once it's developed, there is apparently going to be an upgrade tree, but I'm liking the designs, I'm liking the visuals, I'm mostly liking the music, and the sound is definitely giving me those future racing Widleys. Oh boy. Now, just so you know, 9th place in the second lap is both a somewhat new and somewhat humbling experience for me. It's not that the AI is amazing, it's just that I am seriously out of practice. Nonetheless, you can see how even the gentle curves are occasionally tripping me up, precisely because I have to hit the boost pads as well as race cleanly, and yeah, the optimal racing line for Niagara is not quite so obvious as it first appears. For example, that outside turn, and then there should be... yeah. Triple boost pads, another inside, and then it should be another inside again. And here I believe it's on the outside. I could be wrong. Nope, there it is. Oh, outside and inside. But as I noted before, it is perfectly possible to salvage a bad lap in this game, especially in Niagara, where I managed to finish any second now with 4th place. Considering I spent most of that in 9th, I'm quite happy. Nonetheless, the 3rd track, Atlas Torres, has a very interesting and surprisingly common glitch to future racing games. As such, I will be shocked if this glitch manages to survive all the way to release. My flabber will be gasted. So, this is the failed run. But I want you to watch this, not only for the boost tunnel, which is quite an interesting feature, and also some good track design there, where even though that is an air brake required turn, or at least a very hard right, yes, this is the track where air braking becomes important, and also speed management, and also not going over the track. Now, I want you to keep an eye. Now, yes, 4 people passed us, and we very quickly get back to at least 6th. And then something interesting is going to happen very soon. I'm in fact going to legitimately hit first. There we go. Now, nobody is passing me at the moment. In fact, nobody is passing me at all, and yet... Huh? How did that happen? Indeed, I didn't see another racer for the entire race, and apparently they were suddenly 20-odd seconds ahead of me. Now, in the successful run, we get to see something equally strange, but no doubt with a common cause. Now watch it, fifth, fourth, wait, where were they? I didn't see them. This is correct, they fell through the track. This is, as mentioned, an incredibly common glitch in future racing games, and as we'll see, the pressure was just too much for these pilots to be shamed by me, and we're going to go the entire race. Nice air brake turns and interesting outside and inside twists. I'm going to go the whole way, and then that glitch is going to be apparent at the end. Now, at first I thought it was a pathfinding glitch for reasons that will become clear, but no, as far as I can tell, they just fell through the track, also very common to Unreal games in general. As mentioned, this will be fixed by release, but it's just a thing that you need to be aware of, especially as far as I'm aware, there's no multiplayer yet. But there will be, along with upgrades, a proper championship, and a couple of other cool things, and obviously more tracks. That was a really sloppy air brake turn. And another one. Yeah, so I didn't really deserve this win. I also haven't bothered using weapons at this current stage, so I can't really tell you how the weapons are going. But, goddamn, I do love the world design. Now, on the one hand, this is meant to be a somewhat grim and grittier world, or at least according to the Kickstarter video, and it's kind of looking Wipeout HD-ish, but that's fine. That's, honestly, I don't mind. The racing is good, the world looks interesting, the vehicles, as we'll see, look interesting, and it's immediately apparent. Yeah, now watch this. This is slowed down, and this is why at first I thought it was a pathfinding glitch. This again was a bug I saw in Wipeout 3, where the replay and the AI doesn't always want to play ball. But no, they fell through the track. So it is early access, there are bugs, but they are being fixed, and I am confident that they will be fixed. These developers have a good pedigree, and yeah, now to show off the F3000, which currently is only a time trial vehicle, and as you can see, the weapons are the machine gun or the rocket, and there is a variety of colours. Orange, red, blue, green, white. I like the green myself. Now it's important to note that, as is quite obvious, the turning of the F3000 craft is not so hot. You're going to be using air brakes a fair bit more, and it's a fair bit more drifty. And once again, the expertise from the ex-Wipeout devs on the team is showing here, as you can see, how the craft works and doesn't work just from the design. I love that. It's very streamlined, it's very quick. Alas, as you can see, its turning vanes are absolutely awful, and its air brakes are sloppy, so it's a fast yet drifty craft. And as I'm amply showing. So that's Formula Fusion. This has been the Mad Welshman, and see you soon.